This one chilled me to the bone, because I witnessed every terrifying second of it myself. It happened in the building where I live, an old residential complex where families have lived for generations. One of our neighbors, an elderly man, passed away. He was one of the kindest, most spiritual souls you'd ever meet, always smiling, always offering a helping hand. Though he had no children of his own, he was deeply loved by everyone, especially by his youngest nephew, whom we'll call Bala. The elderly man lived in a joint family setup. He and his wife shared their home with his brother, sister-in-law, and their 4 children. Bala, the youngest, had a special connection with his uncle. They were inseparable. Bala adored his uncle like a father, and the old man in turn treated Bala like the son he never had. But on the day of his passing, something happened that I will never forget for as long as I live. As the tragic news spread through the building, relatives started pouring in. The mood was somber, heavy. Wails echoed through the corridors. The elderly man's wife was inconsolable, and his brother could barely speak. People sat in silence, some whispering prayers, others lost in their own grief. But Bala stood out. He was still, quiet, too quiet. While others wept openly, Bala seemed locked in a trance. He didn't speak a word. He didn't even cry. He stood in one corner, his face pale and blank, not interacting with anyone, not responding to even the kindest words of comfort. It was unnerving. Time came for the final rites. The body had been laid in a simple wooden coffin, adorned with marigolds and incense. According to tradition, close male relatives were to carry the coffin for the procession. Naturally, everyone turned to Bala to offer a shoulder, but he didn't move. He just stood there, frozen, his eyes blank, as though he had turned into stone. People called out to him, nudged him, pleaded with him, but it was like talking to a statue. After a while, the family stopped asking. Others stepped in to take his place. As the procession moved out, just a few feet away from the house, something horrifying happened. Bala suddenly erupted. He let out a piercing cry, but it wasn't his voice. It was his uncle's voice, the same tone, the same inflection, the same loving yet desperate cry. "I want Bala, I want my Bala. I want..." The air froze. Everyone stopped in their tracks. People turned around, shocked. That voice, that unmistakable voice, was coming from Bala. A voice that should have been lying still in a coffin was now echoing from the throat of the boy he loved most. Bala screamed again, louder, more terrifying. "Give me Bala! I want my Bala!" He wasn't just shouting anymore. He looked possessed. Before anyone could react, Bala started running, sprinting towards the old stone well behind the building. All the while, he screamed in that unearthly voice, "Bala! I want my Bala!" Panic spread like wildfire. People dropped what they were holding and ran after him. But Bala wasn't himself anymore. His strength was unnatural. When 4 men tried to hold him back, he threw them off like rag dolls. It took 8, maybe 10 grown men to pin him to the ground. Even then, he thrashed and struggled, eyes wild, mouth foaming slightly, continuing to cry out in that same terrible voice. Someone splashed cold water on his face. Another called out to his father. Through the chaos, his father knelt beside him, cradling his son's head and whispering soothing words. Slowly, slowly, Bala's breathing calmed. His eyes, which moments ago were blazing with something not of this world, began to soften. The voice changed. It was his again. The trance lifted. Then the tears came. Torrents of them. He realized, truly realized, that his beloved uncle was gone. He wept like a child, loudly, from a place of deep, unbearable pain. The room fell silent once more, this time not from horror, but from heartbreak. We didn't speak of it for days. No one really knew what had happened. Was it grief? Was it trauma? Or had the old man's soul clung to Bala in his final moments, unwilling to say goodbye? Some say spirits linger when their hearts are too full of love, or their journey unfinished. Others call it possession, but all I know is this. That day I saw something that defied logic, something that blurred the lines between the living and the dead. Even now, whenever I pass that well, I feel a chill run down my spine. And I think of Bala, and the voice that called out from beyond the grave. I want my Bala. It's been years since then. Bala is grown up now. He rarely speaks of that day, and no one dares to bring it up. The well was sealed not long after. Some say it was just for safety reasons. Others whisper it was to keep something from coming back. Whether you believe in spirits or not, I leave it to you. But I swear to you, this happened. I was there. And sometimes, when the night is still and the air is heavy, I think I hear it faintly again. A whisper, carried on the wind. I want my Bala. And I pray for Bala. I pray for peace, and I pray that whatever cried out that day has finally found its way home.